Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in to Two in the Cooler. For your first time listening, thanks for joining us. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can also follow us on social media at Two in the Cooler on Twitter and Instagram. We put up our Who Would Win of the Week polls on there. You want to be sure to vote in those. Great show for you today. Two guys from the Ivy League Collective, the rap group, Nate Spanish, Will Rapture. If you haven't checked out Ivy League, be sure to do that. We'll have a couple links in the description of this video or in the podcast description if you guys are just listening to it. They just put out Demos 2, which is their new it's kind of a mixtape. It's kind of an album, but it's really good. Be sure to check it out. They're also doing these unbelievable vlogs, which are really funny that we kind of get into a little bit. So it's a good episode. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. Before we get into that, let's get down to business. Let's pay some bills. This episode of Two in the Cooler comes to you in affiliation with Instacart. Instacart is the best way to get your groceries delivered right to your door in as little as 1 hour. Oh gosh, grocery stores are the worst. I don't like running into people I know, and I'm sure I'm not the only person. I can't stand people with shopping carts. It's a weird situation. They bring the carts around, or they're driving them, but they like don't pay attention to where other people are, and like if you accidentally run into them, like they won't look you in the eye. Like people are very kind of standoffish in the grocery store. I wonder if that's some kind of like hunter-gatherer like instinct thing. Okay, but we, the people, everybody listening to this, we've evolved past that, okay? We don't need to deal with all that bullshit grocery store stuff, searching through the aisles. That's why you can just use Instacart, get some of your favorite products from some of your favorite local stores delivered right to your door, like I said, in as little as 1 hour. And to get you started, right now, Two in the Cooler listeners get free delivery on their first order of $35 or more. Just hit the link in the description and get that deal going. This episode of Two in the Cooler is also brought to you by Two in the Cooler. That's right, merch. It's been out for a while. We've got a lot of people buying it, which is freaking awesome. It's really cool to see all the orders come in. I was just telling everybody, or some people I was talking to yesterday, about how the quality of the merch, that's why it took us so long to put it out, because we wanted something that we could get people at a good price, but also quality material that's going to feel very comfortable. And with the t-shirts and stuff, it's not going to like shrink in the wash, you know what I mean? Because sometimes you order promotional shirts and stuff, and they are it's not shouting me out, but that like Gildian company or whatever, they sell all the shirts. Those shirts are like wearing cardboard boxes. That's incredibly uncomfortable. The Two in the Cooler shirts are unreal. It's a little bit like wearing a cloud. I'm not going to lie to you. Obviously, maybe I'm a little biased, but I think it's pretty objective. They're excellent shirts. And we've got all kinds of designs. We've got the logo design. We've got hashtag pizza tipping. We've got Matt Can't Read stuff, which is selling really quick. All available for you right now on teespring.com/store/Two in the Cooler. Hit that up. Get yourself something nice. Get yourself something classy. All right, folks, without further ado, thank you guys very much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe and follow us. Here's the episode. Enjoy it. And there we go. It's making it happen. It's live. Here we are.
And we're going.
Yep. That's the way you do it.
Yeah.
That's showbiz, baby.
Yep. So we got two of the Ivy League guys in. Nate Spanish, Will Rapture.
Yes.
Just confirming your identities before the fingerprinting.
Oh, shit.
And we're excited.
You guys have been super busy since the last time Nate was on.
Yeah.
And that was pretty early on too.
That was early pandy.
Yeah, I think I was still shooting in our parents' basement.
Yep.
On my end.
On Discord.
So, yep.
Yeah.
Fuck Discord. And fuck Craig.
Yeah, Craig. R.I.P. Craig.
Was that the bot?
Yeah, Craig was the bot.
Craig.
He meant well, but he just
couldn't get his job done. Yeah.
It was.
Did he fuck up too much?
Yeah, I think he had like a substance abuse issue that we didn't know about.
Look,
Craig's in rehab right
now.
That job, it gets to you, it grizzles people.
It's kind of a thankless job, honestly.
He's got to record so many videos. And God knows what he's seeing too. Like
God does know what he's seeing.
Yeah, imagine all the horror stories he has.
I mean, who knows what he's witnessing?
Dark past, I guess I can't blame him too much. But we got a lot to talk about. Before we go too far, Andy, how have you been?
As I mentioned, I've been really
busy, super busy.
I've been really busy,
super busy,
watching videos on submechanophobia, which if anybody doesn't know what that is, it's insane. I like that I said no, we won't bring it up on the podcast.
Yeah, and then the first thing he does is say it. Yeah,
I feel like we had to. It's so it's like such a niche. There's probably a Reddit for that we should all dive into. I think
that's one of those things where like
I think that was actually developed on Reddit. That phobia. Yeah.
That makes sense. That's like a
very Reddit thing,
new phobia or whatever. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's one of those things where like you have no idea that it exists, and then you suddenly see that it's like a huge community. You know what I mean? So it's submechanophobia is basically, my understanding is that it's the fear of being in water with submerged man-made objects, and the way that is like most commonly comes about these days is the fear of animatronic theme park rides in water. Like Jaws was a big one that scared a lot of people.
What about like the Terracotta Army or whatever that thing's called? Do you know what I'm talking about? Isn't that
the stone? Yeah, the Stone Army
that's underwater.
That's not underwater.
No, there's one that's underwater.
There's like a whole there's like a whole part of the ocean in some country like across the way, and they just like build statues and put them down there.
Yeah,
as like a gallery
to this day.
Yeah, still.
Like there's like a whole army. And what about the one? And isn't there one in like Rio that's underwater? That's like near Coral Reef. It's like one guy. I think it's Jesus, maybe.
Well, there's Jesus in Brazil that's real big, but that is, again, on top of a mountain.
No,
Some
but
would say the opposite of the bottom of the ocean.
There's one that's underwater. I'm almost positive. I don't check up to date on my underwater.
Underwater Jesus. Use the hashtag underwater Jesus. Enter to win a Toyota Corolla.
Hey.
Somebody will get it to you as soon as they can.
You'll find one somewhere.
Yeah. Just keep asking around. Eventually you'll get one.
Keep looking, you'll see one.
Yeah, you'll get one eventually.
You can have it if you try hard enough.
Andrew,
what?
You brought a prop for today's episode.
Oh, I have it in my pocket, actually.
Oh, thank God.
Because I wasn't. Yeah, oh, Jesus, right.
Shit, I remember the story.
Yep. It started out
after all the
finally returned to its original.
Damn. You know what? I do remember this thing now.
Oh, no.
And that's weird that like you ever have that moment where like something deep in your brain is accessed and surfaces and you're like you can like your brain like just stops.
Yeah, you're confused.
Like I remember like this little logo. You can see. Oh, I don't know, but it's like all scratched up.
Yeah, because I remember that. Take care of it.
It's so weird. I don't know.
It is weird. Well, I felt weird the first time we had you on telling you that story.
No, I thought it was so funny.
And then
because you were like, I hurt you, and I was like, I don't remember that.
I mean,
I don't even. To be honest, I don't even know if I remembered in that time, like in that time frame.
Well, you never asked for it back, so.
Yeah, I was a spoiled little only child. I probably was like, I got 50 of those at home, so you can have one.
I remember going over to your house a couple times and seeing you had some like really cool Star Wars guys. You had like different Obi-Wans and stuff like that.
I had like the lightsabers where you like flick the switch and it like it slides out. A few of those. Man. I only like 2 or 3. Some other kids, some kids I played baseball with had like 10, and theirs were like the light up ones. I had like the poor kid ones that would just.
I was gonna say we had a wide variety of lightsabers, ranging from like the lower end models made with like the Star Wars logo on it, all the way to like the Toys R Us home branded. Like couldn't call them lightsabers, but they were lightsabers. Yeah,
those ones sucked. Those ones were rough.
Hey, listen,
you couldn't fight with them. But, you couldn't wail on each other.
Everyone just whack each other.
The ones that were like the legit Star Wars
thick ones that didn't go all the way into like the holder, you know what I mean? Like they had that much like blue or whatever that still always stuck out. Yeah. Those things were dense. You could really whack somebody with those puppies.
You could stab someone with one of those.
Yeah,
they
were
break skin if you hit someone with that.
I had the one I don't know if I got it for my birthday or whatever, but I had one where it was like the handle, and then it came with like stones that you could put in this little thing, and it would like change the color of the light because it was just a light one. And yeah, you can make it like whatever. Like it had one for each character. It was sick. I don't know what happened to it. I also had the helmet, the Darth Vader helmet that like changed your voice.
Oh yeah,
but that thing got so like dinged up over the years. Like it was like at the end it was just gargle noises. It couldn't even.
We
like,
used
make
to
out words.
have a legitimate R2D2.
Oh yeah.
That was like 2.5
That's
feet tall, probably.
Yep.
Damn.
That was supposed to be like fully.
Was there a dude in it like the old movie?
Honestly, there
It came with
probably
Kenny
was.
Baker. Yeah, you get a little Kenny Baker
Because it
to
was
play
supposed. Yeah,
inside.
it was like R2. You could say like R2D2 dance, and it would like scooch back and forth. But it was very, very like old. Like, well, it wasn't old at the time, but like the technology obviously wasn't up to date.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like
Yeah.
its own AI. It didn't work very well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they
the-
made that today. I feel like there are BB-8 ones that are like
That are probably pretty
what
crazy.
they wanted that one to be. But this
Yeah.
one, you could basically, it broke really quickly because it was like voice activated and like wouldn't hear you, and all you could do. But you could play hide and seek with it. That was like the one thing you could do, is it had a little light and it would like look for movement, so it would just walk around. And if it caught you, it would stop and he'd do a little
Oh.
dance,
Damn.
and you'd
Yeah.
be like, "Let's
That's
do it."
pretty advanced, I feel like, for back then.
That's like a Roomba, like back.
Yeah,
then.
it's pretty
The
much
Roomba
what it was.
technology.
I don't even. Did you get it for like Christmas or something? Like, where did that thing even come
Yeah,
from?
yeah.
I don't remember.
Do you remember those little dogs that had no face and they would light up and you could hook your iPod up to them?
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
those were
And they
those were fucking terrifying because I had one and in my room it would start going in the middle of the night in the pitch black, and then I'd see the light and like it would be moving.
Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is terrifying.
I think
dude.
that was like the design of those was though you're supposed to take care of them, like so it wanted to like randomly grab your attention at
Yeah.
all times. But
yeah.
I
that
think
could
then
be.
people quickly realized that nobody wants a fucking robotic dog barking in their ear at 4:00 in the goddamn morning.
Yeah.
True.
You used to
No.
have something like that, and I remember because I would hear it in my bedroom, and you would sleep through it, and I would come into your bed and like spike it in the closet to shut it up. It wasn't a dog. I think it was like a parrot. You used to have a talking parrot.
There was a parrot named Squawker's Macaw.
Yeah, Squawker's
shit.
fucking
Wait,
macaw.
Okay, I remember the name. Yeah.
Classic.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
don't. Squawker's Macaw is not a name one soon forgets. But it was like,
Squawker's macaw.
I don't know if this is still a thing, but there was like a trend towards kind of our middle years, I guess, that was all about like robot pets.
Yeah.
They
Definitely.
like you
Yeah.
coated them with like the stuffed animal stuff, and you could give them like 3 commands or whatever. So they made a lot of dogs. I think they made a couple cats, and then they made this parrot that had a little remote control, and it had like its own stand, and you could like
But it worked though. Like it was like you could say
Yeah.
something to it and it would repeat it.
it came with a plastic cracker
Oh my god.
for you to feed it.
Oh my god.
Squawker's Macaw, yeah.
Squawker's fucking macaw, and it would bark or not bark, but it would like go off in the middle of the night, and I remember it. It was in your closet. Another weird thing that Andrew had and still has is a nutcracker collection.
Why would
Oh,
you bring
shit.
that up?
Because you
in
do
front
weird
of these
shit.
guys? Don't
God.
embarrass. No, I did.
Exposed, dude.
I have done weird shit, but clearly, based on my submechanophobia obsession,
you're
I'm
finally
past all
you're
that.
finally
I'm
on a path
yeah,
to
yeah,
normalcy. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
You're healing.
Yeah.
You're healing.
I mean, before we get too off track, obviously we got to talk about everything that's going on with Ivy League. But before I do, I just want to. I know, and then I'm going to get us back off track.
Squawker's fucking
No,
macaw, dude.
it's actually so. I mean, just in reference because
Cancel
you know
Squawker's Macaw.
Andrew
He's a fucking
brings
pervert.
this in for Nate, and I just was thinking. It was a couple days ago
Oh,
when
we
Andrew told
we
me
should
who was
say
on
what
the
it is.
podcast.
Oh yeah.
Because we didn't. If the first time Nate was on, like episode 7, we talked about how I borrowed a Power Ranger toy from him that I never gave back. Borrowed it in like kindergarten. It remained in our parents' basement for years, and here it is.
Finally returned.
yeah.
Mhm.
But what I was gonna say is like
He's back home.
one vivid memory Will, and I don't know if this is weird or not, but like when I was thinking about who's coming on and what we're going to talk about, one vivid memory I have of you is you in the Perry's ice cream.
Yeah.
What's it called? Visor.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that's the summer that we graduated high school. Like, every time anybody saw you, you had that visor on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I stole that from a party.
Yeah. There. Yeah. I mean, there was.
It was out of someone's backpack. I stole it out of their backpack and I put it on.
They probably had to go to work the next day.
So we got to have them on here. You have to give.
Yeah,
them
you have to
that.
return
We
it
have
to
to
them.
squash the beef.
Yeah.
This is the full circle podcast.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when we
It's just
graduated, when we graduated, our graduating class of high school randomly decided like to do just everything fun that I feel like people should be doing the entire time of high school, and
Yeah.
kind of went like 8 straight days of just parties where everybody in our class was kind of invited to, and it was definitely a good time.
That shit was brutal. It took a toll on me.
Definitely took a toll. That was the first time I ever remember like being hungover. It was like, because you
Yeah.
didn't used to get hungover when you drank when you were like younger, you know. And then I remember like the 5th or 6th night, I was like, yeah, we're going to a party, and my mom's like, you're going to a party again, like. And I'm like, yeah, we just graduated high school, and then
We're gonna live forever.
I woke up the next
never
morning,
die.
and I was like, what is this strange feeling? Like somebody gave me some Pedialyte.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't
Damn.
drink anymore after that. Like, every time I drink now, I just drink way too much, and I end up, like, throwing up the entire next day. Every time it's at Nate's house.
Will
too.
hasn't seen his kids in 6 years.
Yeah. They're good. They're good on
fine.
their own. Yeah.
They're what, 8?
They're
40?
raising themselves.
30?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, that's called raising independent children. You gotta
They
cut them
gotta
some
learn.
slack. Exactly.
True.
Learn
They
young.
got to learn the hard way.
But now that we got that out of the way, Ivy League. So hey, why do you always laugh at my transitions? Like somebody's got to get us back on track here. You never do it,
You're right. I like going off the rails.
which
And-
is fine.
yeah. But I'm just excited. I'm just excited
hey,
to
listen,
see you
there's nothing wrong with
doing
being
your job.
excited.
It's just fun for me.
Do your job, DTRT. Do the right thing.
Okay.
That's what we're all about here.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it now that we've established whose job is what.
Yep.
So, since we last had you on, Nate,
Yep.
it seems that it's been more of a group-centered thing. You guys, as the Ivy League Collective, have been working on what you can do together.
Mhm.
Just what, like, was it Friday or was it literally 2 days ago that you guys put out demos too?
Yeah.
I think it was 2 days ago.
Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Dude, we don't even know.
I don't know.
Well, the distributor thing is weird because it's like they just give you a time frame, and I just happened to check our email the same day, and they're like, oh, it's up on Apple Music. So I go on Apple Music. I'm like, okay, it's there. Then I text Mikey, and I'm like, it's out on Apple Music. Should we wait to like announce that it's out? And he's like, well, it's on Spotify too. I was like, I didn't get an email about Spotify. And then it was on Spotify, and then I was like, well, it's out. So that's kind of how it works. Like, it's just like, oh, it's out there now. So yeah, that was like the demo stuff is like this one was more like of an album than the last demos was. And this one, a lot of the songs came from like all over the time frame. Like a lot of them we kind of just finished up, but some of them like we finished up recently, but they started like a year ago. The one with me and Chef, Swanton Bomb 2, that's from like 2018 or 2019, and I like just re-recorded my verse. So like that's kind of the demos thing is like it's kind of the first one was kind of just what we had at that time, but this one was a little bit more album-ish because it was like more thought went into it. But a lot of them are just from all over the board, so we're just like, let's put it out, start fresh, because we want to start a new album, like a group album. So we were like, let's just put it out, start over, some new stuff.
So my question for both of you guys, being in a group like this, what's it like shifting your focus from, because you put out Velvet last year, which was big.
Mm-hmm.
What's it like shifting focus from doing a solo thing to focusing on the group, which, like I said, you guys have been really kind of getting into now?
Mm-hmm.
It's so much more easy, I think.
It is,
Like,
yeah.
Compared to a solo album, a lot of pressure is on you, whereas with a group album, it's just so easy because you can bounce ideas off of other people and you can just, like, it's just a lot easier to make everything cohesive because everyone has different ideas, and it's really interesting to see how we can, like, intertwine them to make them sound good and cohesive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the one thing we always talk about when we talk about like what we want to do and stuff, like what we've found is like the solo projects are kind of more of like to get that person's ideas out that maybe we haven't done like on a group thing.
Yeah.
And then the group thing is kind of like a lot of times, like I think I mentioned it the first time I was on, where like a lot of times on solo stuff we'll experiment like a lot, and then we'll kind of grab like what we like from everyone's individual things, put those towards like the new one or whatever we're working on as a group. So we kind of use the solo projects as like guinea pigs for the group project. And it's been a while since we put out like an official album, so we're looking forward to doing that. And who knows what that's gonna sound like. Like we're kind of just like, we were so worried about putting demos 2 out, so now we're kind of getting into gear for the next thing, and we have no idea. It's gonna just flow naturally, so we'll see, I guess.
How much of a collaborative effort is it? I mean, do you guys have any say really in like organizing the tracks, like the order of the tracks? Because a lot of them sound so different. So how do you manage all of that?
Mikey's a fucking tyrant.
Dude,
Not
Mikey,
get anything past that guy.
I suggest like, oh, can we move this drum? And dude, no. Mikey is an absolute fucking dictator in our group.
He stares him
No,
down.
I'm just kidding. No, it's like we're all like super open. I feel like in the beginning we were all kind of like sensitive to our ideas. Like when you start something new and you don't have a lot of experience, like everyone would be like, but I really like this thing I suggested, and everyone's like, well, I don't know, dude.
Yeah.
And it was hard. But now I feel like we're at the point where we've made so many songs, group and solo, that we all kind of like, we know what each other likes and we know what everyone can bring to the table. And like and the main thing is like we respect everyone's opinion, because we all have like different frames of knowledge of music. Like Mikey's like a savant. Is that the word? Savant. Yeah. He's like, you could tell him like anything and he'll make it on the spot. So as long as we have that kind of thing going on, like we can literally say like, explain something as dumb as we possibly could, and he just figures it out.
Yeah.
So we're really open with each other as far as like ideas and arranging. And like what you said about arranging, like it's hard to arrange an album because it has to like flow a certain way.
Especially a group album, I feel like, because of what Andrew said, is you have different sounds coming into play, so you want to make sure that it fits right so that people can enjoy the album as a whole.
Yeah. And the one thing that's like kind of an issue sometimes is you know, you don't want someone like ending and starting too many songs in a row, or like you know, like it depends where like how it starts and how it ends, and like the order of who goes, because sometimes we'll make stuff where like a couple songs will have the same order of people going on it, and you have to kind of like split that up. So
yeah, I feel like that was a problem earlier on,
yeah,
but
a little
now,
repetitive. Yeah,
now we don't like, I feel like we don't stress it as much because we just know like how and when to mix it up on certain songs.
Yeah, and we like write everything out. Like we'll write the songs, and then we'll write like the order of who's like rapping or singing whatever on each one, and we'll try to adjust it so that like, oh, like okay, so if, like with Chef, if he's only on like 3 songs, we're not gonna put them all like in a row.
Yeah.
You know, like
Sure.
I mean, on this one well, this one kind of, what I noticed about demos too is that it kind of has like little sections within it. Like, did you notice that?
Yeah.
Where there's like a few like love songs in a row, then there's like a couple boom bap songs in a row. So that was kind of cool. I don't think we did that on purpose, but I kind of like how it has like sections.
Yeah, Mikey mentioned that to me about, well, this one wasn't really organized in like splitting everyone up so you get like a good sound of everyone as you listen through. Mm-hmm. I think I was on like the earlier half, and then Mark Schaff was on like the later half of it.
Yeah. So it's tricky sometimes.
Yeah, but this one wasn't like a big deal. We weren't really like racking our heads over it.
We're trying to make sure like, okay, they're done.
And
we have enough of them.
Yeah.
And then we're like, all right, cool.
Get them out and see what happens, which is never a bad idea though.
Yeah. And you know what, like the demos series, I guess, it's kind of like more casual. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say like mixtape, because really I don't know. There's people throw around like album, mixtape. Everything's kind of the same nowadays.
Yeah.
As far as like streaming goes, but like, I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, the mixed. Yeah, it's more of like a mixtape kind of vibe where like if you listen to rappers who put out mixtapes, it's more like casual. Like even some mixtapes aren't even like mastered well, and that was kind of like the first demos was like way more raw, and this one was like a little more fine tuned. So a little more casual in the demos things, I think.
I've actually never known that, like what the true difference between like a mixtape versus an album. I mean, I just whatever it says, I'm like, oh yeah, we'll just listen to it.
I mean, I feel like mixtapes tend to be more raw. Maybe,
yeah,
like,
well, yeah, I think that stuff like they're more
rough.
Yeah, thrown together.
Yeah.
And not as much focus on like the production and stuff of it, just more the music itself.
Yeah, it is a bit confusing because everyone will call their like mixtape or EP or LP or album or whatever it is an album when they release it, but like an album is really only like when you record in like a studio or like for a label, I guess. But
yeah, there's like the definitions they're there, but people, I don't know, it's
Who
like
it's
cares?
just like muddy,
Fuck 'em.
kind of.
Yeah, fuck them.
especially with streaming, like
Yeah.
everything's just a project.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like in the days of going to the store and buying a CD or a record, there was like EPs, LPs, singles, whatever. Now it's like, dude, it's just there.
Yeah.
It's just on the internet.
Yeah.
I feel like for a couple years their mixtape was almost like a buzzword. Like
Yeah.
kind of like that's what got it muddled in the first place is people would start calling like whatever they were doing a mixtape just because
It was like a popular
it was like a
phrase.
popular thing.
Yeah.
Like that was
Yeah.
something that like drew. It was like it made people feel like they were kind of in on something. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
that,
ooh,
like
something
just
new.
that
It's
name
underground,
itself.
yeah.
Yeah, it makes it feel like you don't know this new mixtape? Oh, that's
Like,
weird.
yeah.
I'm a
It
part
makes
of an
it sound more
exclusive
like
club.
obscure.
Yeah.
And you know,
yeah.
people love obscurity. Like
Yeah.
people want like
Yeah.
that's the thing with music too. There's like the gatekeeping people and stuff, but everyone loves to be like the only one that knows something.
Yeah.
But then like once everyone thinks they're the only one that knows that thing isn't obscure anymore. Like Denzel Curry, everyone's like he's underrated. But it's like once everyone's saying you're underrated, you're really not underrated anymore.
Yep.
I don't know. It's
Yep.
just
That
one of
is
those
definitely, I mean, because I'm not, as big into music as a lot of my friends are, as far as like I listen to it, I enjoy it, but I don't, follow individual people as much as others do. And I love when people are like, yo, you got to hear this new song. Like they just found like the world's biggest secret.
They
It's
want
like-
to put you on.
Yeah, like, oh, thanks for putting me on to this music that I don't listen to.
It's funny
But
when
I do
people do
appreciate
it. Like when people do it, and you feel bad, but like they'll do it for something that's like been popular.
Yeah. Oh, that's even worse
Like, that's
when they're
funny
like,
'cause they're like,
"Yo, have you heard this track?" And they play it, and it's like just the most obvious like song. Yeah.
There's this dude Kanye. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
How many people know about him?
Yeah.
Like, he's like really good.
You guys ever heard of the DaBaby?
Yeah.
It's like, what? No.
Who? No, never have.
Wait, what were you saying the way here? Little infant or something?
Oh, yeah.
The infant,
Yeah, the child.
the child.
Yeah, I mean.
We just say the dumbest shit.
Yeah,
Sorry,
well, I
had to
know,
bring
but
that
I
up.
mean, it is funny because I've heard people say stuff like that before because between like the baby and Lil Baby, like you have two
Yeah.
huge rappers
Yeah,
right
yeah,
there, and
yeah.
their names are so similar. So, yeah, it's easy to joke off that, but
Yeah. But you guys talking about like
Andrew has
saying
no
stuff
clue
like that?
who the baby is.
No, I do because he was on Saturday Night Live. I learned about new music groups the way that like 40-year-old people do. Is once they are on NBC, then they've hit the big time.
Who's this Drake character?
Oh man,
That's okay though.
I saw Megan the Stallion on the morning show.
she was talking to Hoda. I like her.
Yeah, they always say that. But I like it. I don't know about all this rap stuff, but I kind of like it.
Yeah.
I don't know about a WAP, but there's something. There's something.
There's something
to
there.
that.
Yeah, there's something there.
But when you guys when you say like the infant, when you guys are joking around and stuff, that's what makes watching all those vlogs that you guys been doing so fun.
Dude.
Is like the things that I know I can see you guys saying to each other in that moments where you're thinking like only we think this is funny.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a cesspool. That's what we like about.
Yeah, like
Yeah, dude.
joking around like Nate's girlfriend or Matt's girlfriend or Mark's girlfriend, they don't laugh.
Yeah, they have no
they,
clue.
They
yeah.
will not laugh
They're
at
like-
any of our jokes when we say like
They're
when we
genuinely
say like
concerned.
Spurg.
Yeah,
or,
we just
like,
say we put words. I can't even do it for you because it's just so spur of the moment. But our sense of humor is like I imagine like Reddit 6th graders think it's funny, and we just put words together that don't go together, and that makes us giggle, and we're grown people. So
almost 23 years old.
Yeah, no,
if you watch the vlogs, you'll see we just put stupid, like Mark or whatever was like, can you make me a George Lopez type beat? Just things like it's not funny to anyone else, but like, but yeah.
But there's something to that. I think that's why the more you do those things, the more successful they're obviously going to get, is because in those moments, that's when you guys are the most authentic, right? Yeah. And I think that's what people want more than anything. I was going to say,
and I think that even ties back into talking about music and, like that kind of people liking things that have that underratedness, like you guys as a group, there's people out there, me included, that that do find that funny, right? And when you guys go on a vlog like that and talk about that stuff, then the people that are following you guys feel like they know you guys outside of
definitely
what they hear in your music, right? And then they get to know your sense of humor, and it kind of creates like a loyal fan base. Yeah, because they're like, I know like if I were to have the chance to go shoot the shit with these guys, I know I would fit right in because I know how they act outside of what they're doing in their music.
When we started making them, we said that exact thing pretty much. Like, because there's people we like with the internet, and a lot of like rappers these days, it's no secret. Half of them are known for like not even their music, which isn't a bad thing. It's whatever they want to do. But there's like certain people on the internet that you like follow, and they're like comedians or whatever, and you just like want to hang out with them. And I think it's like key. Especially with people like Tyler, the Creator, who's like so funny, and a lot of people don't really like his music, but they like him, and that's what like we wanted to do. We're like, well, it's like another form of content that's like we're hanging out anyway.
Yeah,
might
exactly.
As well film it.
Might as well film it.
And then people like see you and they're like, oh, like they might think like those guys remind me of my friends or whatever. And then like you said, if they feel like they know you, that's just all the better.
Because and then especially when it comes to music, because not only now do they get to see like that humor side of you, but they begin to know, or at least think they know who you are as a person, right?
Right.
And then so when they listen to their music, they're like, oh yeah, like I fuck with this, like I know what's going through his head when he's writing this, when he's talking about so and so. So, I mean, I think that from my perspective, like that's a great thing that you guys do, because it as much as it is just another form of content, like I said, it's a great way to build a loyal fan base and people who support you guys as much as you would support anybody that you enjoy from a music perspective.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it just it's going to make things ultimately better with like fan interactions and stuff, because once, God willing, live shows start happening again, you guys start doing some of those.
Dude, yeah. We miss it so much, dude.
I just when I was going through your Instagram today, saw, some video from back when, and like that Connor made of you guys doing some show somewhere.
Oh, yeah. That show was an adventure.
Oh, yeah.
That was Will's favorite show, actually.
Yeah, I had a headache the entire time.
Dude, that show was crazy.
I feel like it's always an adventure, though.
Honestly, yeah, like it's so fun to play shows. And, right at our level right now, the crowds aren't huge or anything, but it's like people we know, like people like we all went to high school with, like some people, like I forgot, I'm not going to say their name, but I don't even remember who it was. There's kids from high school that like you and me graduated with, and I didn't even know they came, and they came up to me like, I forgot who it was.
Yeah, I remember that.
The dude like slapped me up as if I saw him yesterday, and I'm like, I haven't seen you in like 6 years or like 5 years, whatever at that point, and I was like, this is crazy. Like there's just people popping out from everywhere.
And I think that goes to say something about the product that you guys are putting out, though, right? Because like you say, everybody, starts somewhere, and it doesn't matter crowd size. What you really want to do is just the people that are listening, you hope that they're enjoying themselves, and that's obviously a sign that they are. So if anything, that's the biggest compliment you could have got, and just being able to listen to live music or be at a live concert in general is something that I think so many people are missing right now.
Yeah.
And I think that once we get back to normalcy and you can have events like that, it's going to be such a good thing for groups like you guys, because people are going to see it and they're going to be like, even people that have never heard of it heard of Ivy League, or they're going to be like, I want to go check this out because I can.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to sit in my house and try to watch somebody do a live concert from my living room and pretend, get drunk by myself and pretend like I'm having fun. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hopefully it's sooner than later. Hopefully like summer or something.
Fingers crossed.
Well, if you guys ever need a background dancer, I mean,
dude, you guys can do whatever you want. If you wanted to come and just like, we went on stage with some friends that like we performed with, and you know we weren't performing. They
were doing songs that didn't have us on it. But
yeah,
we come up on stage.
They were like I don't know if we went before them or after them, but like we were talking to them. They're like, you guys should come up on stage for the next song. So
get a hand going.
Me and Will, right? It was you and me, right?
Yeah, it was you and me.
Yeah, we went on stage, and I think we both agreed we stayed on stage way too long because we were hyped for the one song, but then they took like a pause, and we just were standing there, and then the next song started, and we just didn't know what to do, and we just kept standing there. Yeah. So we just jumped off, and it's funny, but like shit like that is funny, like when shows at our level like don't go right, it's just like a story. Like we performed in an Italian restaurant. That's something we'll be able to tell people forever.
True. And yeah, that was wild.
And no one's gonna believe it.
Yeah, like you performed like where they make spaghetti and like meatballs.
Dude, we performed in a dining room. Like this is like it's like almost like a fucking Olive Garden, and we like performed in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like a family-owned Olive Garden, and we performed in like the back dining room.
Did the owners like hire you, like come perform for our customers?
Well, apparently what like we were told.
Oh no, we didn't perform for customers.
Okay.
There was no.
You know
there were no customers.
We were worried about that. We were like, is this gonna be people like eating dinner? Because that would suck. Because we don't make that kind of music.
No, not at all.
We're like, all right, the song stylings of Ivy League. No, we're like, we yell and jump around. It'd be very obnoxious. But we were told around that time that it's like a very decent venue for like the hardcore scene, like rock, you know what I mean, like have like metal, whatever you want to call it, in Buffalo. So for them, that venue is sick. For us, it did not translate into the setting for us, like, because I've seen pictures of the shows for like the hardcore scene in Buffalo, and there was like 50, 60 people in there. For us, there was like 10, and half of it was people performing. So I was like, dude, I better get a hoagie out of this or something. I don't know.
Played a little chicken Alfredo or something.
I was about to go to the back and ask Tony for some Alfredo before
complimentary Stromboni.
Yeah, where's the Stromboni? What's that like?
The gabagool.
What is that like? Right? Yeah, give me 2 gabagools. What's that like contract where you like need stuff in your dressing room?
Oh, the rider.
Yeah, I should have been like, dude, I need a bowl of Gnocchis right now as soon as we get on stage. No, but it's like one of those, you know, like I said, the dumbass thing that happened that you can just tell people, but it's unbelievable.
That's what they say. You know, those are like the shows that you'll never forget. It's playing in the laundromats.
Yeah.
I would have taken a laundromat.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Laundromat would be fun.
I would actually go out of my way to play in a laundromat.
I'd go out of my way to go to a concert at a laundromat.
Yeah, now that we're saying that, I feel like
mostly
this is a
because
really
my
good
washing
idea.
machine's broken right now.
Oh,
but also
shit.
because
I mean, that would be like such an experience, like just waiting for your like the whites to get out of the dryer, the washer, whatever. Just leaning against the washing machine.
Yeah,
Some dude's just doing stand-up comedy or rapping in the corner.
Stand-up comedy in a laundromat is actually something
I've
that
heard
people
of
should
that.
look into.
Yeah, I heard
because
stories about that all the time.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, as a stand-up comedian, if I were in a laundromat, I would come in prepared with nothing and just target people that were walking in and out of the laundromat.
crowd work.
Yeah, because you could definitely come up with some good. I mean, if you're a good comedian, come up with some good on-the-spot content based off of what you would see in a laundromat, like down on Main Street in Buffalo or something.
Laundry humor.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. What's better than that?
Now I'm thinking about like all the places that you could do a comedy show or like a music show in. Imagine just doing one in like a Burger King, like in the corner. Just have like a little wooden box that you're standing on top of.
Yeah.
Or like a gym stakeout at like 3:30 on a Saturday morning.
Imagine
that would be
that.
the
That would
best
be legit,
venue.
dude.
That
That
would
would
be the
be-
best venue that you could ever have.
Yeah.
They go crazy without a performance at all.
Yeah.
They're just, you know,
Yeah.
just hung over with a hoagie,
Every night's a performance.
which
for
is
them.
that's my next album name.
Hungover with a hoagie.
Yeah.
I actually don't hate it.
It's gonna be a country album. I think.
Little HWH.
Yeah.
I think that'll get people going.
Definitely.
Hell yeah. They're waiting for it.
I have to ask you a question while we're still talking about the vlogs.
Mhm.
I don't know why. Sorry, my mic sounds a little weird to me. I heard this somewhere. First of all, I don't know how much you guys can talk about this, but if there's contracts going around, but the Mountain Dew sponsorship. I mean, where are you guys with that?
Oh man, I gotta hide this.
We're in a pretty violent legal battle with them right now.
Dude, it's. I mean, I haven't slept in a week. I mean, my kids don't want to talk to me. My wife, she wants to leave. I have nothing. I put all the money we've made off demos too, which is a shit ton. No joke. It's so much. We put all of it towards our legal battle. And we're actually, our record label held us at gunpoint and said, you need to put out something because the record label we do have, right? Rock Nation.
Yeah.
Rock Nation, Death Row.
Yeah.
I've heard of it.
The crossover. They're like, you guys got to put out a project because these legal fees are getting out of hand. And we're like, dude, we don't have anything. So we made that whole album in one day. And we put it out and got so much money, dude. Just so much money. And it's awful.
Yeah, it fucking sucks. Actually.
Well, in the one vlog, what was it like when you guys actually found that page that's like...
It was a miracle when they
Promotions
found
or
that page. When they were like, yeah, email us directly if you have any questions.
Dude, that was so funny because just to break the bit, that was all on the spot. We did not plan that because a couple people have been like, do you guys like write stuff? And we're like, no, like we're like that fucking dumb. Like we were just joking. Well, because me and Will are pretty avid fans of Kickstart, the famous beverage by Mountain Dew. So we just happened to be drinking Kickstarts, and then it just spurred this conversation. And then Will hopped on the computer, started Googling
Yeah, we were looking for promotions.
the Western New York Mountain Dew rep. We
Yeah.
need it if that exists. Did not find it.
But they haven't gotten back to us yet.
No,
that's
they're a bunch
weird.
of scumbags.
I'm still eagerly waiting for that, but
Yeah, I'm sure they're on their way.
oh, definitely.
We're probably, it's COVID. I don't know.
Yeah,
Something's backed
definitely,
up.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
probably got some guy.
Did you guys see that thing that was going around on Twitter, that dumpster that was just filled to the brim with unopened cases of Baja Blast?
What?
Did you
I
see?
feel like I heard of that.
Yeah,
No,
so
I didn't see
it
that.
was just a random
Wow.
Twitter thread. I don't know where it came from or like what
That's
it had
messed
to do.
up.
But it was a legitimate dumpster full to the top of full cases of like 16-ounce bottles of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. And then the ongoing jokes are obviously like, who's trying to pull up that dumpster, because that's worth its weight in gold right there.
Dude, Baja Blast might as well be a currency.
Honestly.
It should be.
Honestly, it's delicious.
It's not a bad way to pay for things. I forgot my wallet at home, but I do have a 2-liter Baja Blast. There you go.
Any stoner dude would be like, all right, he'd probably trade his car for a
Yeah.
Baja Blast.
Could get half a 7-Eleven for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
True.
you got your first product to sell.
Yeah.
Some Baja. A little bit of Baja. Shoot it in my veins, dude. I want an IV of Baja Blast just in my fucking arm.
I mean,
Okay, let's talk about this like it's
mainline
real.
it.
I haven't.
Here we go.
I haven't. I'm definitely under on my quota of Baja Blast for the year, but I will say, because I think it was a lot different when you could only get it at Taco Bell
Yeah.
versus then when they came out with it in stores. Like, don't get me wrong, I love that it's readily available, but there was something that hit different about the fizziness of getting a Baja Blast from a Taco Bell, whatever, pop machine, whatever the hell those things are called.
Mm-hmm. The impending diarrhea was just a thrill.
Yeah,
True.
Just knowing, if I drink this caffeine crossing over with some,
Yeah.
whoever knows what's in that meat,
Yeah,
dude, you're
with a couple chalupas and a Crunchwrap Supreme. Yeah.
maybe a Locos taco.
The quesarito just ripped through me.
So I had I got into an argument with a Taco Bell employee about a month and a half ago. No, it was longer than that.
Is it about how the quesarito is exclusive to the app?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it really?
So
Yeah.
that's exactly what it's about.
Yeah.
So I pull up, and my Taco Bell order is virtually the same every time. Beef quesarito, and then I'll get a chalupa, usually chicken, nacho cheese, and then either a Crunchwrap Supreme or Doritos Loco, whatever I'm feeling. It's always the same 3 or 4 items though. And so I pull up Taco Bell, and I order my beef quesarito, and they're like, oh, we don't, like, we discontinued those. And so I'm instantly like, 3 things pop into my head.
Yeah.
Like, one, what the fuck? Like, who is the asshole at Taco Bell who decided to discontinue the quesarito? 2, like, are you telling me that you couldn't take 2 fucking tortillas, throw some cheese in the middle of them, warm them up real quick, and then roll it into a burrito for me? Like, you couldn't just help me out a little bit here? It's 1:30 in the morning, man. Like, I just want my fucking quesarito.
Yeah.
So whatever, I was like, okay, I go about it. And then, and this is where it got worse at the time. Now I'm really off track. But so my roommate orders, he's like, because he was going to get a quesarito too. He's like, fuck, I'll get this instead. And I'm like, yo, what's on that? Like, there's no beans, right? He's like, nah, no beans. So I'm like, okay. So I get 2 of them, like, to supplement my lack of quesarito. Mm-hmm. And there was fucking beans all over the place. So I literally ended up with like a $14 Taco Bell order, and I got to eat like 1 Crunchwrap Supreme. Ugh. And I was miserable because it was after practice. It was like the middle of the night already, and I was just starving. So then, fast forward to like 2 weeks ago, I'm craving Taco Bell. So I go and I order it on Uber Eats to get delivered, and the quesarito is on the app. So I'm like, I can't not order it. So, but what if it doesn't come? Like, I was getting nervous. Yeah. So I order it, and it shows up. So then I had to do my research, and I'm like, why the fuck? Same exact Taco Bell. It was the same location that I picked up from and I ordered from. They made me the goddamn quesarito. It was more work for them, funny. Like, to have to give it to the Uber Eats driver, and the Uber Eats driver would have to give it to me. When you could have just given it to me while I was there and put it right in my hand, I would have ate it before I even drove away.
Dude,
that's my bone to pick with Taco Bell.
That is pretty messed up. Yeah, I saw this guy one time. I was at a Burger King in Cleveland, and
the best guy.
You haven't had Burger King until you've had it in Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah. I was at this Burger King in Cleveland, and as soon as I walk in, all you can see is this man yelling at the kid behind the counter.
Love it.
He's like the 17-year-old dude, and this guy is like in his 40s, and like he hates his wife and his kids and stuff, and he's just like screaming at this guy about his bill. He's like, why is this $15? He's like, it's $14.95. That's not So the kid is like, dude, I don't know what to tell you. Like, that's what it is. Like, yeah, because he's just pushing buttons that say like chicken nuggets, you know.
Yeah.
Boom. So he's like, let me talk to a manager. And this other man comes out. I don't know what his relationship with his wife was, but he comes out and he's like, what's the problem? He's like, this bill's $15 or whatever. So the manager takes the receipt and he looks at it for a second. He's like, he looks at the kid and he goes, this guy tried to order 10 nuggets, not 100 nuggets.
Oh.
But the craziest thing about that is that you can get 100 chicken nuggets at Burger King for less than $15.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's kind of crazy.
That's funny you mentioned another memory deep in my brain you accessed. So I had a friend, Matt Walker. I'll say his name. You know, I want him to get the credit. So Matt Walker, I don't know what, I forgot. This was like 2017. He was going through a rough patch or whatever. He's like, dude, can I stay at your house? I was like, yes. So he comes over. He's like, do you want to go to Burger King? I was like, yes. So we go to Burger King. He goes, what if we got like 100 chicken nuggets? And I was like, well, there's 2 of us. Why do we need that? He's like, they do it though. I was like, he's like, I've done it before. And I was like, alone or with other people? And he's like, they'll do it. You just have to wait. And I was like,
oh my God.
All right. And they might have like a special at the time. I think there's some kind of special going on. So we go to the Grand Island Burger King, and we pull in, and he goes, can I get 100 chicken nuggets? And I was like in the passenger seat, like, dude, I don't want to. I used to be in fast food. I used to be in fast food. I was like, I would kill this person. I would open the window and just like rock 'em, sock 'em robots in their head. So like we do it, and they didn't sound too upset. I know you could probably make like a bunch of nuggets at one time, but they're like, you're gonna have to wait. And he's like, oh, I know.
I assumed you didn't have to.
Yeah, I know.
I've been here before.
This guy is just like recruiting people to help him in this nugget crime.
Yeah, it's like a pyramid scheme. So we waited, and then they brought out like 5. I don't even remember how many bags it was. Well, it was like one big bag full of nuggets. And we get to my house, and like he just starts opening the boxes and just dumping it directly in the bag. And we ate like maybe 20 of them, and then we both fell asleep. So now you have 80 freezing cold nuggets in my basement.
Those are still good. I
Oh,
would eat
yeah.
those.
We did dive into them the next morning.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
And not my proudest moment, like eating cold nuggets. Whenever I woke up, it's probably like 1 p.m. at that time. But dude, I was like, and he paid for them, so I was like, dude, this is your journey. I'm just with you.
along for the ride. I'm just along for the
Like,
ride.
I was like, this is all you. But you know, again, another story. It was funny. I couldn't believe they did it.
You keep talking about like bringing things back in your memory. This is just bringing back like random fast food memories that I have. And one, I'll be the first to say I eat an incredible amount of fast food, like well over the recommended amount. Like it's like one of my go-to meals. Is like I'll just eat whatever is on my way home. But this is a Taco Bell. Actually, the same exact Taco Bell. It's a Taco Bell on fucking Maple in Amherst.
Stop going to this Taco
Oh,
Bell.
no, this isn't a horror story by any means.
Put them on blast.
Putting them on Baja
So
Blast.
I
Am
was
I
there-
right,
it was,
folks?
yeah, good.
All right,
good.
thank you guys for coming.
So no, this isn't a bad story. It was during the state tournament, like the New York State hockey tournament for travel hockey, whatever. And we had a late game on like a Saturday, so the only thing open afterwards was Taco Bell. So we were going to Taco Bell on our way home, and me and a couple of the guys from my team were in this Taco Bell. And the same night there was a concert I think it was at KeyBank Center, and it was some like super popular like 80s band of some sort. So there was a bunch of people in this Taco Bell that had been at the concert, like old, like 50-year-old people, like wife and husband, and like a bunch of them were pretty drunk because they were out enjoying this concert, whatever, doing their thing. So there's a guy, so it's me and a couple of my buddies, we're in line, and there's a guy and his friend in front of us. They're probably in their 50s, and they're hammered. And so he turns around, because the line's long, so he turns around and starts shooting a shit with us, and we're like, yeah, hockey, blah, blah, whatever. And he randomly, like, pops, like, his, I think it was his top, like 4 teeth out. Like he had them on like a retainer, like they were fake teeth. Mm-hmm. This is completely unprovoked. And he's like, you guys are hockey players. Like, I'm sure you guys get hit in the teeth. He's like, all you got to do is lose these front 4. And he like pops them out and sticks his tongue out. Now he's got no teeth in the way. So his tongue comes out like super long. And he's like, my wife. He's like, oh no,
God.
Yeah, we know where that's
he's
going.
he's like, I get liquored like 2 spots at once.
Oh my God.
And we're like,
What
we were like
fuck.
16 at the time, like barely able to drive ourselves to this fucking Taco Bell. And this dude's hammer, and we're like, oh my fucking God, this dude's a legend. Like, we love this. So shout out to that guy wherever you are.
He's dead.
Yeah. And just the
he's
last
no longer
one
with
to
us.
touch on the Nuggets. We stop at fast food restaurants a lot with our bus, like our whole hockey team when we're traveling, whatever. And we were, who knows where, Ohio. I don't know. We were in some other state, and we pull in, and we're on our way home. It's a Saturday night at like midnight. We had just played, and there's these two guys, and they're in front of us, and the McDonald's people are clearly pissed at this point because we didn't know, but these 2 guys they were on their way to a Christmas party, and just randomly decided they should stop at McDonald's and order like 200 chicken nuggets and as many French fries as like the restaurant would give them.
You got to tell your buddy so he can get on that.
And
There's
just
a record to beat.
bring them
Yeah,
and just
which
bring them to the
McDonald's?
party. And they just we're just bringing them to the party to chuck on the table and provide everybody that's at this party with chicken nuggets. I'm like, one, that dude is a hero. He just saved somebody's life.
Yeah.
But 2, these poor fucking workers, not only are they serving these 2 dudes up with 200 nuggets, but 28 dudes just hopped off a bus that just played a hockey game.
What
yeah.
a gauntlet.
Yeah, these poor fucking McDonald's workers. But hey, listen.
That's rough.
That's one of those days.
One of those days you fake an illness and just hide in the bathroom, or you just straight up like sneak out the back door.
That just makes me, sorry to interrupt, but
No.
that just makes me think about like if someone came through at Tim Hortons and ordered fucking 20 BLTs or 20 turkey bacon clubs, I would probably quit on the spot.
Yeah, I don't think I would.
Have
be able
you
to do
guys
it
ever
either.
like working those jobs? Are you still at Tim Hortons?
Yeah, I'm still there, unfortunately.
Did you ever like just really get into it with anybody?
Almost, yeah.
Dude,
It was over a chicken chipotle wrap.
Which is
almost
great,
lost.
by the way.
It
The chicken
always
chipotle
is.
wrap is delicious.
I almost lost my mind that day.
What happened?
Oof. Okay. So this lady comes in and she orders a chicken chipotle wrap. I make it for her, but our panini press gets stuck sometimes. So like the shit will just tear or not stick together at all, and everything will just fall out onto the press. So it did that, and I folded it up, and I was like, shit, I can't give this to her. But I walked over to her, and I was like, here's the chicken chipotle wrap. It's messy, but I'm going to make you a new one. And she had already been waiting because I'm like slow at the soup and sandwich station. But she was already pissed off because it took like 5 minutes to make. And then she was like, okay, whatever. And then walked back to her table. Then I hear her freaking out at her table because it's messy after I told her it was messy and I was going to remake her one. Then she comes up and she's like, I'm not eating this. And I was like, I'm making you a new one. And like, I was just like, oh, my fucking God.
But I have a fear, though. I have a fear of going to fast food restaurants and like ordering stuff like that because these people have so much power over you.
The workers.
Yeah.
When I worked at all those food places, I never felt that way.
See, because and this was like a prime example of it. Checkers does like 69-cent like chicken sandwiches like once or twice a year.
Yeah.
Cool.
And my friends and I were all hanging out. And we're like, oh my God, we should go load up on chicken sandwiches.
Let's get 100.
Yeah, so we pull up. Well, I think there was like 4 of us, and we're like, let's get 4 each. Like, let's order 16 chicken sandwiches. And I was driving,
God.
and so I pull up to the window to the guy, and I'm like, hey, there's not a limit on like how many chicken sandwiches we can get, right? And he's like, no. And I was like, all right, well, I kind of got a big request then. And he's like, oh, no problem, we can handle it. Super nice. I was like, can we get 16 chicken sandwiches? And this dude practically started laughing in my face. He's like, 16? He's like, people come in here and order like 40 at a time on 69-cent chicken sandwich.
God.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't want you to like, I don't know, like wipe your ass with the top of my bun or something.
That's the big difference though, is that like somebody coming in like that and then somebody coming in kind of like that woman who just is very entitled about their food. Like, we get that you're the customer and stuff, but like, you can't come in here like that. You know what I mean? Like,
the customer is not always right.
Well, and that's my like,
never right.
Everybody has worked like a part-time job.
That's
or whatever.
That's the thing. Is like, I don't think everybody has. I don't think like that woman. Like, because if you work those jobs, how could you possibly? Do that to somebody?
Because you know, like you know how much like people can piss you off when you're working, when they're being when they're being annoying, and 2, you know what it's like when somebody comes in and you're like having a shit day, like you're super busy or something, and they're like, yeah, don't fucking worry about it, like
it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, that's so nice of you. Like, now I'm gonna not use your bun as toilet paper. Yeah, that's
dude, the customers that like are like, hey, dude, I know what you're going through. Like, those people mean so much, and I don't think they realize it. Yeah. Like, I had a guy like that at Tim Hortons. He was like this big dude with like a skinny beard. He was like bald.
Always those guys. The guys
that look mean, and they're just like, hey man, take your time, dude. And I was like, all right. But like, I was at the counter. This is back when I worked at Timmy's, and something got messed up or whatever, and this dude was like, I don't think he like said anything directly, but he was like giving attitude like bad. And the guy I was just describing was like behind him. So I made the coffee. I was like, sorry about the wait, whatever. The guy like said something rude that it wasn't like so rude that it like ruined my day, but it was like enough
annoying comment.
Yeah, where I was like, whatever, dude. And like by that time I was a seasoned vet. You know, I've had like 3 years in. I've seen it all. I've been through it. You know what I mean? I was like, nothing you say can get in here anymore. But the dude behind me was like, he said something. I don't want to like oversell it, but he said something to the guy, and he was like, hey, these kids work hard in here. And the guy like just looked at him and left, and he was like, what an asshole, huh? And I was like, yeah.
That's a great deal. When a customer like chirps the dude or like the person in front of him, like, why the fuck they got to be a douchebag?
That happened a lot, and it was really nice.
Yeah, that's a good feeling.
And it happened in the drive-thru a couple of times. Like, one person was like, you put lettuce on this, and I didn't. And then the lady behind her was like, what a jackass. I remember that happened. She like sped up to the window, and she rolled down the window. She's like, what a jackass, huh? And I was like, yeah, like. And at the end of the day, like, I don't know. Like what you said, you try to give her like a free wrap.
I was giving her 2 wraps, and she was furious.
Yeah.
She was mad about it.
Yeah, she was ready to fucking shoot me.
I gotta say, if somebody did what that guy did and like said something to a customer, I would have cried. in my Subway days, I would have cried.
Subway.
Subway must have been brutal.
The thing about Subway is that the way that store is set up is it's inherently you have power over the person, because
Yeah,
like
that's
isn't the slogan of Subway literally like have it your way? Or is
Yeah.
that Burger King?
It used to be, at least. I don't know.
It might be Burger King, but
Burger King, yeah.
Isn't
No.
but Subway.
Or
I don't
Subway's
know.
like Eat Fresh.
Yeah.
Eat Fresh is definitely on the list, which
Yeah.
nobody there did.
What a stupid ass slogan. Now that I think about it.
Eat
Sorry,
Fresh.
go ahead. It's just such a dumbass slogan.
Yeah.
Eat fresh.
But
Okay.
because you're literally making it to order in front of them, there is immediately that relationship of like, low worker, like
Yeah, yeah.
CEO. You know what I
they're
mean?
like,
So
I'm telling you what to put on it. Like,
exactly.
less
Yeah.
turkey, less turkey. You're like, holy shit. Dude.
Yeah, so people, I mean, they come in and it's just the environment that store creates, which kind of fucks Subway now that I'm thinking about it, that they do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But so the only time I ever like almost went crazy on this woman was because I worked at the Subway down in Central Florida, and obviously you get some weirdos there. And this woman came in, and for some reason, when I worked there, the year I worked there was like a banana pepper shortage across the country. Like it was a huge deal. Like these letters went out to all the Subways, like we are down on banana peppers, like save your banana peppers, like ration banana peppers at all
At any
costs.
cost, save these.
Yeah.
banana peppers.
It was a big deal.
I
So
love
then
banana
this woman comes in and she orders like 4 fucking subs, which is immediately a red flag. Like no offense, but that's like
Yeah.
a huge deal.
Yeah.
And she's got that like Florida look where she's like, her arms are all sunburned and she's wearing like she looks like a stereotypical like awful kind of tourist, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she comes in and she orders these subs with like a ton of fucking meat on them, and then we get over to the veggies, and because of the great banana pepper shortage of 2015,
Oh, who could forget?
Scary.
Damn.
we had these like notarized letters to put on the glass windows that says to customers like, we're sorry, but there's a nationwide banana pepper shortage, like there's nothing we can do about it, we apologize. And it's right there in front of the glass. And this fucking woman, and let's not mince words here, no offense to this lady, but she was a fucking moron. And she's like looking around at the veggies, and I'm like,
She's looking.
this bitch is about to ask me about banana peppers. And she goes, that was her face perfectly.
Did you do like did you have a lot of people that would lean over the protective glass?
A lot of
I
people
feel
like
like
to get
that
as
was
close
like the
as
big,
possible.
yeah, the big like,
Pressing on it, like I'll get
yeah,
that
they
one.
like reach over it because I've witnessed that.
I'll
and I'm
just
like,
grab it myself and put it on there.
Yeah, like, you want to
Like,
touch it?
I want like this amount.
Let's take that off. You're like, what? Leave me alone.
God.
Finish your story.
Yeah.
So this lady, she's like looking around and she's like, where are the banana peppers? And I slam on the glass where the note is, and I'm like, we're all out. She's like, oh, okay. But she's like,
Oh my God.
again, no offense to her, but she's like so stupid that she can't even understand that I was like not doing my job very well, and
Yeah.
like being rude to her or whatever.
So she didn't comprehend.
No, she just.
She was like, oh, okay.
I think.
Well, I guess
that
that's good in a way. She didn't come
Yeah,
at you
she's
on
too
it.
It was
stupid
my
to
last
know
day
that
at
you were-
Subway. That's
she's
the
too
only
dumb
reason.
to
Oh.
know that you were being an asshole. Is what it is.
Hey,
Yeah.
but
I've
those,
been to
those people must have a great life. If people are like directly
too
mean
naive
to them and they just don't
yeah,
get
too
it.
naive to even know what's going on.
But the
Yeah.
problem is, they are also assholes a lot of the times. But I
they
guess
don't even
they don't
realize
know,
they're
yeah.
doing it.
yeah,
they
but
don't know.
so yeah, I'm sure they live great lives.
Yeah. I think that, and this is super random, but I've been to probably 3 different Subways in the past like month in the area, and all of them, no matter the time of day, have only had one employee working, like no matter how busy
Yep.
it's been. And so I think that Subway is hurting bad because
Probably.
when it's busy in a place like Subway and you only have one person working, like
It's crazy.
it's like a 30-minute wait time.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
make the
Especially 'cause,
sub.
again, people are ordering like multiple subs.
Yeah, like you make the sub and then you got to take your gloves off, type it in,
Yeah.
like sell it to them, wash your mitts, put gloves back on, next sub. Like if you're second, third in line, you're honestly better off just going to like the grocery store and buying like a sub roll and like a thing of lunch meat and just making your own damn sub.
Honestly.
Yeah, seriously.
I have 3 things about the whole food talk.
Will's been taking notes this entire time.
I've been putting them in the chamber.
Yeah.
1, the customer is almost always wrong.
Confirmed.
100%.
With the Subway stuff, I always felt kind of nervous. When I went up to order for the first time at Subway, I was like, oh, fuck, they're going to be pissed if I'm slow. Like,
Yeah.
I need to know exactly what I need to get. So I was like, just meatballs on it.
Yeah, order something. You order. That's a classic.
Do you
Order
want-
something you
do
don't
you
even
want-
want because you're nervous. Yeah.
Do you want bread with it?
Just
meatballs?
No, just meatballs.
Just put them in the bag. Just put them in the bag.
Just wrap them up in the paper.
I'll just, just put the ingredients in a bag. I'll just make it at home. I don't want to inconvenience.
Yeah. And then third, I cannot comprehend how people will get like a cold like sandwich, like a turkey bacon club or like a ham and Swiss, and they'll say like, if they don't say that they don't want lettuce, well, like we'll obviously put it on there, but then we'll hand it to them and they'll be like, this has lettuce on it, and it's like, can you take it off yourself? How have you gone like 40 years into your life and never had to remove anything from a sandwich?
That's the big one, and that happened to me a lot at Tim Hortons as well. You make a sandwich and they don't specify they don't want, or they don't specify they don't want something on it, and it'll be like tomatoes where you can just reach in,
Grab the tomato.
and they'll like hand it back to me, and I was like, all I'm gonna do is go in the bag and take the tomatoes off, unless it was slow. Then I would like remake the sandwich and I would probably eat the old one.
Yeah.
But I was like, you're gonna hand it back to me to take the tomatoes off?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense. Dude, like, there's like that meme I've noticed on Twitter where it's like introverted people at fast food place, and like they fuck up the order and they're like, this is fine, thanks. But that's me. Like when I'm in, and the one time I tried to be the guy we were talking about who's like relates to the worker. I was at Muddy Taco and the line was backed up, and they got to the window and the dude was really cool about it. He's like, I'm sorry, like it's it's been busy, like we're short staffed, whatever. I was like, yeah, it's cool, dude. I used to work fast food too. He was just like,
Oh.
and he just walked away, and I was like, I'm trying to fucking.
Trying to make your day better. You
I'm trying
cocksucker.
to be nice, and he's just like,
It's like, oh,
he might as well just spit in my fucking mouth and just turn around.
Yeah,
That's how I felt.
You might as well have just said like, oh, I didn't ask.
He
Like,
gave
so
me
weird.
like a look that said like, I didn't ask, and I'm going through a lot right now.
It's a tough
That's his
job,
fault.
man.
You did what you had to do.
I was just like, yeah, man, I've been there. He was just like, I could give 2 fucks if he's been here. Or not.
I wish that going into the episode, I knew that our focus was going to be on the struggles of living life in a fast food world.
Dude, we could
I know.
start a podcast
Yeah.
about fast
That's a
food.
great idea for a podcast.
It is.
Another guest comes on the show and has a phenomenal idea for something.
that we have yet to do. Yep, we own that now.
Gotta get a trademark on that.
But the reason I say that is because I do want to get into the Who Would Win of the Week, and it's very topical. I mean, the day this comes out will be the day after St. Patrick's Day.
Okay.
But we did do a little St. Patrick's Day action last week with the Leprechaun versus Hitler, which, by the
Oh my
way,
god.
Instagram.
Yo,
What was
do you guys-
what was the
so,
reaction to that?
Can we talk?
Did they flag
You
it?
guys mind if we talk about this for a second?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, let's talk about it.
I put out put up the poll for who would win every Friday in the Instagram stories. Make sure people listening go vote on it, especially this one, especially when Hitler's involved, because
You really got.
he was up. He was up. There was a portion.
Dude, I saw the vote and I was like, wait, Hitler's winning.
Yeah, one of my
something
just to
like
touch
it.
on it quickly. One of my friends was like, "Dude, I accidentally clicked Hitler's name, and then like I felt like kind of guilty about it. I was like, damn, I just voted for Hitler."
Oh my god.
Yeah, there was a period of time where Hitler was 100% leading the vote. It was very early on, but so Instagram. So then we also post like a photo, like the graphic, to say like, here it is. Make sure you check out the story and go vote. And it had a picture of Hitler and a picture of a leprechaun because they were going to fight each other. Yeah. And Instagram took it down because there was a picture of Hitler. And
I thought it was going to be racism against Irish people.
Probably that too.
I'm just kidding.
nobody cares about that, but maybe it's accurate.
If it got flagged for the total reason you did not expect.
Then I would be like, okay.
I just
all
don't
right.
understand.
But they
like,
because there was a picture of Hitler,
Yeah.
they took it down. And Hitler is bad. I don't know if I have to say that, but Hitler's a bad dude.
Hot
Very,
take.
very.
But he
hot
did exist. So I think that Instagram is like a bunch of Holocaust deniers. I'm just going to put it out there right now.
I'm in on that just because
Shit.
fuck big social media. We're taking them down from the inside.
Big
because,
internet?
Yeah, big internet. Because how the hell is it not okay to post a picture of Hitler on
Yeah.
Instagram? Like, do you think somebody reported
Well, it's
it?
not that it's like, it's not that it's like a picture of Hitler, but it's a picture of Hitler like with a leprechaun. And like, I was gonna say nobody's gonna vote for Hitler. People did vote for Hitler to win that
People are
fight.
big Hitler fans.
But
Many
it's like
people voted for Hitler.
the reason that we wanted to put it up is because, like, we all want to laugh about the thought, obviously, of Hitler getting his ass kicked by a leprechaun. That's funny.
Yeah,
But to
it's
say
funny.
that Hitler doesn't exist,
And
look, I watch Schindler's List at least once a year.
also the other thing is like, I don't know, man. We weren't making a joke about the situation, but like at the same time, there's people who have made a lot worse jokes about like Hitler and stuff like that probably have just been completely okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it was not
I
to
don't
make
know.
light of the situation, but it was 80 years ago. Like, and now we can't even throw a picture of this dude's face on
Okay,
Instagram.
I think you just got fired from The Mandalorian, so hang on for a second. But I think that, I just want to start the narrative that Instagram is a bunch of Holocaust deniers.
It's
'Cause I
probably
think that'll
some
really
like
get on their
messed
nerves.
up AI thing that like
Oh, it for
detects.
sure is.
Yeah,
It for sure
yeah.
is. That's all.
But yeah, I mean,
But it's not like we hashtagged it Hitler. I was very, like, going into it, I was like,
Probably
be
should,
very
yeah.
careful with what hashtags to use
Hashtag
on
Hitler.
this.
I think if any, I think if you were to make a joke about anything relating to that topic, it should be about Hitler getting his ass kicked
By a leprechaun.
By a leprechaun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any
That's-
mythical creature, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever you
Yeah,
can think
like-
of.
yeah, like you said, it wasn't like you were like, let's hope Hitler wins. Like,
Yeah.
that'd be way
Yeah,
different.
we weren't supporting Hitler by
Yeah,
any
you just
means.
were like, what if?
But then again, I guess you could make the argument that they're due to the poll, it did come off as slightly the fact that
I think
our
at the end
Instagram
of the day-
supports
Hitler,
Hitler.
yes. If he was losing, would they have erased it?
Well, that's the good. They didn't erase it from the story, so
Oh,
the
they just-
poll finished out, but they took down the graphic from our like feed or whatever.
Oh.
But the
Oh,
poll,
okay.
you can see the poll is still in like our Instagram highlights. You can check on all of them or whatever. I think Hitler finished with like 20% of the vote, and I just want to
Well,
say,
We got some people out there.
yeah, interesting choices.
But
I think,
at the same time, I
like
always
to-
do
yeah.
say that, when it comes to the who would win of the week, it's all about character. Like it's a character game. You got to pick who you truly think is going to believe the fight. If 20% of those people truly thought that Hitler would beat up a leprechaun, you can't blame. It doesn't mean they're Hitler supporters. Can't
True.
blame them.
no, I think most of them voted for Joey B.
So this week's who would win of the week.
Mhm.
Completely off topic compared to what we've been talking about, but very on topic as
Yes.
far as current events go. With the and I also learned this recently that the NCAA is very stingy with how you use their the March Madness terms.
Yeah.
Right. Like if
Oh,
you
like
were
Super
to
Bowl? You can't
advertise,
say Super
yeah.
Bowl.
Oh, the big
Yeah.
game.
Yeah, so the big dance is one of the things that people often call it.
Yeah.
Whatever, that's coming up this week. That's not what we're talking about. But the who would win of the week comes into play there because this week we have Coach K, Mike Krzyzewski. I don't even know how the hell you say his last name. That's why everybody calls him Coach
Krzyzewski.
K. Krzyzewski,
Krzyzewski,
yeah.
Dude,
Krzyzewski.
Thank you for
does
Picking
not
up the
look
slack on that one.
anything like the way it sounds.
No.
It's
And
so
then,
weird.
so Coach K from Duke versus Jim Boeheim from Syracuse. So two legendary coaches, both old men now, but have had fantastic coaching careers. And obviously both guys that have an internal drive to win. So I think when you talk about these two guys fighting, there's a lot that needs to be discussed. Andy, how about you start us off?
Well, when thinking about this fight, going into it, I was ready to go Boeheim right out of the gate. And I'm not saying that I can't be convinced to still move that way, but looking through the stats and everything, Coach K's got 5 championships. Jim Boeheim has 0. And also Coach K, like, he was an assistant coach on the Dream Team. Like, I mean, he really, really knows. He coaches Team USA. Jim Boeheim has been an assistant coach on Team USA. So maybe that's something to consider going into this battle, is like the relationship between the two of them. Because obviously they're ACC rivals. It's, it hasn't been much of a rivalry in recent years or whatever, but obviously they are.
Though.
Yeah, I'm just
maybe not as far as like national titles are concerned, but as far as
but-
head-to-head play, I mean, it's always a battle.
Okay, yeah. Well, yeah, they definitely always go really hard in both those games, but like with K kind of being in a lot of ways the face of that conference, and with the fact that he is the head coach of Team USA and Boeheim is just an assistant Team USA coach, like, it almost feels to me like K is going to come in with having a mental upper hand on Boeheim.
See, I think that it's like a real game respect game type scenario here. I think they both have respect for each other. And here's my go-to, and I'll tell you right now, and then I'm going to flip the script on what I always do, is Jim Boeheim is 6'3". That's a pretty big dude. Coach K comes in at 5'10". So there's a height difference there.
A little bitch.
But here's the thing. And I also want to give a shout out to two guys, because when we were going through ideas, the reason that like this kind of came about is two kids. One was my roommate. One lived next door, just very close friends for my first 2 years at Canisius. Keewan Harmon and Connor Tackley. Keewan is a huge Duke fan. Connor is a huge Syracuse fan, and they live together as well. And they would always go back and forth about this. And for whatever reason, I don't have like a favorite college basketball team, but I would always take the side of Duke over Syracuse for the sole purpose that I hate Syracuse as like a geographic location.
A lot of hills.
Specifically Baldwinsville, New York.
Oh shit.
Calling out very specific location.
Like, I cannot stand. I've never been there. I don't like it one bit. Not even
because
not
of the
even
actor Alec Baldwin?
No.
No.
It all started. That's a story.
He was at a Taco Bell in Baldwin.
No. Yeah. No, but so I'm very anti-Syracuse, which makes me not like this fight, because you know that I'm a big size guy.
Mm-hmm.
Size matters.
Size matters. Size matters.
Yes.
Oh.
Fuck.
Damn it.
Shit.
5 inches is a big difference, guys.
That's what I've tried to, I've said the same thing for years.
So right away that makes me want to take Coach K.
Wait, Boeheim, because of the size, you mean?
No.
Oh, you want to take...
That's why I'm saying I'm contradicting myself, because I usually am so size-based, but I hate Syracuse.
Did Coach K, because I know Boeheim played for Syracuse, obviously when he was in college. Did Coach K play basketball?
Yes, Coach K went to West Point.
Okay.
So he played basketball there.
I hope you guys don't mind, but I need to look up these dudes.
No, look them up.
No, please do.
Reference.
That's why I'm probably more interested in Will's opinion than anybody else's, because he doesn't know who they are. Also, I think what you're going to find here is that Jim Boeheim looks like Bernie Sanders' uncle.
He does.
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
Like looks like he's ready to go. I don't know what the age difference is, but
where's the battle taking place?
Center Court this Thursday.
But where?
Cameron
are we?
Indoor,
I was going to say, are we at Cameron or are we at the
Dome?
Carrier Dome? I think it would have to be a neutral location, because the Cameron Crazies would obviously give Coach K an instant W.
Let's do it at
the Dome is
do it at NU.
The Dome is the worst facility.
What
ever.
about how they like close off half the dome for like basketball games? The court is at midfield. 40,000 people in the dome. They don't close off any section.
I think we should. I think that
they try to do that. The one when they played Duke a few years ago.
They tried to sell the whole thing.
Yeah,
that's why I hate the Carrier Dome. I think it looks like they're a basketball school. Syracuse is a basketball school, and they play in the fucking Carrier Dome. And it drives me crazy, because I think it looks so hideous.
They renovated it, but it's still
I
weird.
just mean
it's
like
just so much space.
Yeah, it's way too much space.
Yeah.
I think that they should fight in the blue gym. Dude,
Dude, that's where
Eric
that's where the real
yeah.
battles were hashed out.
So they're fighting in the blue gym.
What an amazing waste of money.
Does that
was.
change anybody's opinion?
If they're fighting in the blue gym?
I mean,
So if anybody doesn't know, this is like a gym that was built in like the early 2000s. It felt to me at the time like this is the latest gym technology. Like this was kind of the fad in
the
gyms.
floor was like rubber for some
Yeah.
The
reason.
whole room
Yeah.
was rubber. It was
Yeah.
all like synthetic gym stuff, and that was like, this is the future of gyms. And then,
And like, why?
well,
You know what I mean? Like,
just to be the future of gyms, I guess. And like the floor was
it's good
disgusting.
for your knees. Yeah, it helps take away some shock. I don't know if that's true. That's just
it
what I would
felt like
guess.
it, kind of.
Like it feels like it would take away some shock from like your feet.
Maybe.
But I don't know why you need that in an elementary school gym because I don't think any elementary school.
You weren't going hard enough.
Yeah, well, not even you weren't going hard enough. I don't think knee problems were your concern when you're ages 5 to 10.
True.
Hopefully not. But
Bad day. Yeah, I mean, I guess.
who knows?
Depends. If you're Jim Boeheim, he looks like he's had knee problems since he,
Oh, yeah.
got his driver's
one last
license.
statement before we go to Will is Jim Boeheim beta move. His son plays on the team.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
And his name's Buddy too.
Which, see,
What?
fuck you. If you have a son and
that's
you
a
wanted
dog's
to,
name.
and you wanted to be
Yeah,
good,
is your son
but
a
here's
golden
like you have a
retriever?
son. You're Jim Boeheim. You have a son.
Wait,
He's
Air Bud.
super
Air
famous.
Bud.
He
You're
thought
this-
that
yeah.
he was signing the dog Air Bud,
He's like,
but it was
oh,
actually
shit.
his son.
You're a super famous coach at like one of like the highest level of like amateur basketball, right? And so you know that your son is probably going to play basketball, and you know that he's probably going to be good at it.
Mm-hmm.
Why the fuck do you name him Buddy? And why do you take him on your team? Like if I was Jim Boeheim's son, I would have gone and played for Coach K at Duke and kicked my
Oh,
dad's
shit.
ass.
That would have been
You know what's
awesome.
Like the
funny,
fact that
man,
neither
dude.
of them, the fact that they'd rather be together than apart is a double beta move because neither of them wants to be seen as less than the other one by losing to the other one. That's my opinion on
True.
it.
True.
I don't know if it was Buddy because I think he has another son. I know he has a daughter who plays basketball. I don't know if it was Buddy and he transferred, but it's so funny that and I think it is another son because Buddy was like still a freshman. I think he has a son that plays for Cornell. So imagine your dad and your other brother are on the same team, and then you're stuck in Cornell, who
Yeah.
by no means is a basketball powerhouse. You're probably like he's probably gonna go on to like cure some disease or something. But you're stuck in Cornell in like a tiny little gym, and no one gives a shit about you. And then your brother and your dad, like at Thanksgiving, they're like, "Dude, our team, man, like, oh, remember we played in front of like 30,000 people?" And then they're like, "How's Cornell though basketball?"
But you know the one thing you can't find a cure for? A father's disappointment.
Yeah, I was just.
And he seems disappointed.
I was.
And he is disappointed.
I was having a conversation with somebody the other day. I'm not going to say who or where, but they randomly like casually dropped like that their son was like trying to figure out what school he wanted to go to, and he was like, yeah, well, he already got accepted here, but I've been trying to get him to go to Cornell, like just casually like dropping that his son like got accepted to like a prestigious school. He's like, he might not go though. Like I just want him to go there so he can be closer to home, but he might go, and like he might go to like Berkeley in California. I'm like, oh, so your son's just a genius.
Yeah.
I was a sports management major at Canisius College.
So
Yeah. So
He'll end up at
N
N-Trip like everyone else.
Yeah. Hey, what goes around comes around.
No shame. Thunderbolt for life.
Gotta represent.
Yeah, dude. That's where dreams go to survive.
Yeah, seriously. That's where dreams go to develop.
Yeah. That's where you go. Like you go there with your dreams before you actually have them.
Yeah.
And then you have them, and then you lose them. That's what community college is. Like, you go there, you're like, I have aspirations. And then, like, after, like, 1 year, you're like, I don't have aspirations. That's what it's for.
Honestly.
Okay, well.
Now you've become intimately familiar with both these guys through a quick Google search.
So Coach K, right off the bat, he just looks a bit healthier.
Yeah.
Just with his hair.
Healthier.
I guess healthier is the best word. Hair-wise, yeah, he's still got some color. I see some liver spots on the back of his neck. So,
You're really zooming.
yeah, there's definitely some aging there.
Found an
But-
HD photo of both coaches.
what was the guy's name?
Jim.
Boeheim.
Yeah.
And I also like, though, that what was like, I don't really know either of them. And we were like, yeah, we don't ever really know what's going on either. We just go straight. We put very little fact into, it's all personal preference. But usually mine's right, so I would just be careful when you make your decision.
But with Boeheim, just from looking at him, you can tell he's visibly older. His teeth do not look real, so I feel like he's not afraid of, biting into somebody. He takes
those top 4 out.
True.
He's got a happy wife. Buddy's mom is very happy.
Oh.
I feel like he wouldn't be afraid.
Mrs. B.
He wouldn't be afraid to crack those teeth on some bone. So
yeah, he'll replace it.
And like you said, Coach K has 5 more rings than Boeheim. So I think Boeheim has something to prove. This is his last fight he's ever going to be in. It might be the end of his life
His
if he goes
first one
through
was
it.
the Civil War.
Yes.
And now
Yeah.
here he is.
The Revolutionary War,
He
the
survived
Spanish-American War.
Prohibition.
But he is tall as hell.
But I think that's going to be Boeheim's one possible saving factor is just he's such an angry guy
Yeah.
that if he's just goes into a blind rage, then maybe he'll be able to take K down. But I
Ooh.
think that's his only hope.
Yeah, looking at Boeheim now, he definitely looks like an angry person. All the other pictures I was looking at was him smiling, but I feel like he's got his little violent side.
Oh, for sure.
Coach K,
He attacked.
Oh,
he
shit.
attacked that kid.
Yeah.
The kid who was a
What?
student. Not attacked, but
No,
verbally.
he's
Yeah,
definitely. My thing is, though, with Jim Boeheim is Syracuse has been known to play the same defense forever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
Zone.
Yeah.
All about that.
And they've never strayed away from that. That's always been like their thing. Whereas I feel like Coach K has always been more, what's the word? Not like better with X's and O's, but like he's more strategic. Like he's willing to adapt depending on what suits his team best in order to win. And I think that gives him an advantage in this fight because I think that Boeheim is going to come in thinking this is the exact strategy that I want to use and I'm going to stick to it the whole time. Whereas Coach K is going to say, he's going to be more adaptive. He's going to say, all right, I'm going to come in, I'm going to feel him out round 1, and then I'm going to go to a set plan based off of what I see.
True.
So I think that that's advantage. Also, just based on their ability to recruit alone, I think that says something about Coach K. I mean, Duke just breeds like top pick talent to the NBA, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care that his players use him
For
1 year
Yeah,
because he just wants to win.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny because, like, over the last few years, I mean, Syracuse has been a little cold the last few years. But it's funny because, like, Kentucky and Duke are, like, known for having guys go there 1 year, they're out.
So many one and done.
Syracuse, like, because I'm, like, I used to be, like, way more invested in Syracuse basketball. Now I'm not so much. But I've noticed the last few years they have guys that try to do that, too. And then they leave and try to go to the NBA, and everyone's like, dude, we don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Like Tyler Lydon was like a forward for Syracuse. He left, played for the Utah Jazz for like a year, played for another team for like another year, and now he's gone. He's overseas, which is fine.
I feel like,
you know what I mean? It's like they should. Well, that's a whole other topic. They shouldn't. Like some of these guys got to know.
I feel like, and I don't think it's intentional, I'm not making accusations like this towards Jim Boeheim, but Syracuse always has like an influx of like white shooters that they just like pump out onto the court that usually are not very good.
Well, they just like I feel like they have a lot of instances where somehow like every one of those guys will be cold on the same night and then they've got nothing. But they also have like a lot of what I've seen, they have like a history of like 5th-year seniors and stuff. Yeah, it's two guys that are completely different the more we talk about it.
So, with that being said,
Yeah.
I think we should lock in. I'm going to start first, and I'm going to go with Coach K.
Okay.
I'm going to take Duke. I'm going to take Coach K. I'm going to take the Cameron Crazies backing him. We're going all in. Fuck Syracuse. Fuck Baldwinsville.
What I didn't explain is a core part of my mom's side of my family is from Syracuse. Avid Syracuse fans. I've been to two Syracuse basketball games. I went to New York City to see the Pinstripe Bowl when they beat West Virginia and Geno Smith. who's an absolute bitch. No. So I grew up liking Syracuse. Obviously, they had Paul Harris, Johnny Flynn, who were from our area.
A couple Niagara Falls guys.
Yeah, and they balled out. That was like my time when I used to watch them a lot. So I'm going to ride with Syracuse on this one. Well, Boeheim, because he's an angry fucker. He's huge. I don't know. I was going to – both coaches got – the courts are named after them with the big fake autographs. That's pretty cool. But I'm taking Boeheim on the height advantage alone. I think he would just like Looney Tunes bonk Coach K on the head, where
or just hand on the forehead and Coach K
just palms his face, or like the thing where they hit him and their head goes into their torso. I think he would just bonk horny jail Coach K. And but I'm a good fence rider, so I could see either way. like I respect Coach K. A lot of people think it's funny that they sort of bitched out with COVID because they like.
Well, they did. They absolutely. Coach K absolutely realized that they weren't going to make the tournament,
they're like,
and that they weren't going to succeed. So rather than losing, he just straight up opted out and said, "We have COVID issues."
Yeah. Adaptable strategy, and that's kind of
he knows when to stop. You know what I mean? He's not a guy who's gonna like Rocky, where he's like the shit kicked out, and he stands up and like throwing half-hearted punch. He's like he can accept when he's gonna lose. I guess that's what that means. He's like, hey, we shouldn't fight COVID. You know what I mean? Rules are rules.
That makes me not like my pick though. That there, but I'm still gonna go with Coach K.
So being compared as like the anti-Rocky is not a big endorsement. But. Oh, man. I think that K's, what Matthew said, kind of sold me the adaptability that we've seen. Like going to West Point, like you get some kind of Army training. I think where some of that comes from.
It's discipline. It's discipline.
And I think that's what's – and again, that's why these guys are so opposite, because I think K is going to come in pretty disciplined, and I think he's pretty familiar with Boeheim, and like he knows what buttons to push. And Boeheim is like he's all passion, he's all fire. And once those buttons get pushed – he's going to go nuts. And I think that, if he goes into that blind rage, he's not thinking about something, he might make a quick mistake, or there's something that K can really get the advantage on by exposing. So I think maybe, because I don't think K would be shocked by just like a red-faced Jim Boeheim just like running at him. I think he'd be like, yes, this is what I expected. So I think K would be able to take it. I think that's what I got to go with.
The real answer is, who gets more kickbacks from Nike, Boeheim or Coach K?
Definitely Coach K, if we're being honest.
Because Boeheim was the first person I ever saw. He has Nike glasses, and I was like, and I know the coaches get a cut. It's not like illegal, I don't think, but it's funny how like they also get shoes, and I'm like, what do you need the shoes for? You're not fucking playing. And with the military training, because this is me riding the fence right now. I'm still on Boeheim, but I'm trying to feed everyone little points. With Coach K military training, he might pull out the napalm strike whenever, you know what I mean? He's like, he's got infantry.
Hit him with a thermite,
yeah. He's going to call in the dogs, dude.
With all of this information coming together, if their game strategies are telling of their battle strategies, it might be Coach K, because he's more decisive and he knows how to adapt, whereas Boeheim, like you said, has kept like the same defense for how many years. So if that's not working for him and he's still not adapting to it, then it might be clear that his headspace not very good, might be losing it a bit. But oh fuck.
It's tough too, because it's 2-1 right now, so your pick could really be a deciding factor.
That is true.
Well, Nate might only be half. He seems to really be a Fairweather fan over here.
I'm loyal to Boeheim, but
he's nervous about his pick.
Yeah,
I think if they were just duking it out, like just straight punches, then probably Boeheim. But if it was more strategic, I think Coach K would probably win. And I can't imagine that they're just going to stand there and punch each other in the face until someone passes away.
Passes would punch them to the death.
Yeah.
So with the military training, the adaptive learning, I think Coach K would probably
We're making Coach K sound like the Predator.
So Coach K is going to win it.
Coach K is Chris Kyle, dude.
Coach K
is Chris Kyle.
He's going to be trained assassin. Coach K versus John Wick. Coach K might come out. No, so
Coach K
yeah,
might win that.
but I do agree. So Coach K takes the cake as of right now. But if it was a strictly punch for punch till somebody dies, Jim Boeheim would probably take the cake. So we'll lock in our answers,
All right,
3-1
there we
on
go.
Coach K. Vote on that. Hopefully nobody reports us for talking trash about Jim Boeheim or Coach K, and our picture doesn't get taken down on Instagram. this
Instagram
time.
is March Madness deniers.
Maybe they're big Syracuse fans. Maybe they're just big Coach K haters.
Big NCAA crashing down on the criticism.
The dev team of Instagram are just
Yeah.
ride or die.
Yeah. Ride or die Syracuse
fans.
orange.
Yeah,
Yep.
they're all from
Orange.
Syracuse.
The last thing we got to talk about is you have the new podcast.
Yeah. That is like just a fresh newborn baby right now.
Yeah.
Mikey's computer took a big old shit, so we're kind of I mean, I don't know when we were going to do it, but we were trying to get it like this week. So there's some technical issues going on, but yeah, it's called The Rotation, and I was going to mention earlier, but like we're trying to get a bunch of podcasts going, just like with different combinations of us because there's so many of us now. So that one's called The Rotation with me and Mikey, but we're going to have like everyone's going to be on it at some point. And basically what it is like the guest is going to come on and they're going to talk about like an album they really like that like means something to them.
Like the No Skip album.
Yeah, like a
of
no
your,
skip
like-
album, like where you want to like listen to every single song.
The Hall of Fame album by Big Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And
it's
then
probably one of
like
my favorite albums of all time, just saying.
so like
There you go.
the guests will be like this is the album, and then obviously beforehand like everyone will listen to it like by themselves, and then when we come on, it's all like it's like positive, like we're not like, oh, that's your favorite, it sucks, like I didn't like it.
Like, that's your favorite?
That's your
What the
favorite?
fuck?
Do you know music? No, but like, so it's like positive. Like we just, and it's to like for me, like what I was trying to get out of it is like, because we all like a lot of similar like music, albums, whatever. But like we also like a lot of different things too. So I just want to learn more about like what everyone likes and like new kinds of music. And yeah, we just kind of discuss it and see like what it means to them personally, and just we all kind of talk through like the track list and see like what we like or whatever. Just an open discussion pretty much. But we'd like to get like I had an idea for like a sports one to get going, like sports podcast. And then we're going to have one called, well, we started already, Ivy Radio, which is like the podcast portion of it is going to be just all of us, like it's like the vlogs pretty much, but more like in a concise setting where we're all just like dicking around, like making jokes. It won't be like concrete. We'll probably just do it like everyone does, where it's like just talk about whatever's going on, and it'll be funny or whatever. And then like the Ivy Radio portion, which I don't know if you guys have seen like the playlist we've been putting together, where like one person of the group picks like 10 songs by like local artists or people within the group, kind of makes a playlist, so that it will coincide with the podcast. So like at the end of the like we'll joke around, whatever. At the end of the podcast, we'll be like, hey, the playlist is out. Like, here's what we like, blah, blah, blah. So we're trying to get all that going. But obviously, we were worried about, like, putting music out first in the vlogs. But we'll probably start the podcast soon once the computer is back running.
Yeah.
But we'll figure it out.
I think it's a great idea. And that's the thing. I mean, it kind of ties into, like, the thing that I like most about you guys as a group is that all of your, like, solo albums and stuff, they all sound so different. And then obviously you do something like demos or, whatever, group albums and stuff. And somehow it all comes together. And I don't know, just the stuff you're doing, it's only beneficial. Like you can tell that you guys already have this kind of understanding of a lot of different types of music and how to bring it together. I think that's a great podcast.
I think it sounds like a good idea. Well, I think both of them sound like a good idea.
And you're gonna have other local artists on too. Like you're not gonna have just Ivy League guys.
Yeah.
On the rotation.
Yeah, it'll
Yeah.
be like pretty much whoever. Like you guys, like it doesn't matter. Like even people that aren't like in the music realm of the local stuff. Like it'll probably start with like the guys in the group, just so like we get a feel for it, and it's not like we're bringing someone we like don't like. If it's like someone we've never even met and we don't have like the chemistry, so we're gonna start off with the guys in the group until we get our feet underneath us, and then we'll definitely expand to like you guys and like. Everyone that like has been, because I've seen like everyone make the rounds of like the podcast and stuff. It's cool that everyone's like working together. Like we're like streamers, podcasters, musicians. That's cool how everyone's kind of like forming this like scene or whatever.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
nice community.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've talked.
I
I
like
think we
seeing it.
talked about it with Noah Ashklar and when Connor was on.
Yeah.
How everybody kind of that grew up in this area that has their own creative thing going on has kind of decided, hey, like, you know, we're all come from a similar background. We're all trying to accomplish the same goal.
Mhm.
Let's just use each other to kind of market ourselves
Sure.
to different people who might not have see, you know, our podcast but not Ivy League, or might have seen Ivy League but not Connor's videos
Yeah.
or stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think all of that stuff, like, really, I mean, it benefits all of us, and it's kind of cool. I think,
Yeah.
from my perspective.
No,
you
it's
know,
really cool.
when we see stuff like that. So with that being said, the podcast and stuff, all that stuff's in the work. Demo 2 out now,
Mm-hmm.
and then what else? Like, what are you guys? Where can people find you guys? Instagram, social, stuff like that.
Yeah. Our Ivy League is Ivy League CLTV. Our Twitter is the same thing. Our YouTube is just Ivy League Collective. We don't really use SoundCloud anymore, but yeah, it's pretty much. And then like on streaming services, we're just Ivy League, all caps, all one word. And that's pretty much it. We're really active on Instagram. We're trying to get Twitter going, but it's kind of hard. So Instagram is like
Twitter is a tough crowd.
Twitter is tough because you have to either just be saying like the raunchiest shit or whatever. It's so hard. So Instagram is like where we're mainly like updating people on stuff. It's just the easiest.
Yeah.
And YouTube, we're trying to get going, like, again, with the vlogs, which we recommend. And the podcasts will be on, obviously, like, streaming services, but also YouTube. We're going to film them. So YouTube, we're trying to, like, build up this year, like, make it, like, a hub for, like, everything, no matter what we're doing. So mainly YouTube. You can find everything. And a quick announcement real quick. Due to the computer issue with Mikey, we're supposed to have Demos 2 on YouTube and SoundCloud right now. We don't. It's only on like Apple, Spotify, whatever. So we're gonna figure that out. We gotta like make these little things to put on YouTube. But for all the people that only use like this, because there's like a couple people that say like they only use like the free streaming services, it'll be up there eventually. I hope soon, but we're figuring it out.
Yeah, Mikey's computer blue screened, so
It just
We're
took a shit for no reason. He just got it too, so I don't know what's happening.
We wouldn't
but-
know anything about technical difficulties here on Two and Cooler. We're always
No, perfect, pristine.
Studio. Well,
top notch.
yeah.
Yeah.
Studio-
I don't know if you guys
Alright.
saw the episode we recorded when Andrew was in Florida, but
Just the music of
Yeah,
the
it was just the music of the islands.
Music of the island. There was a lot of lawnmowers and stuff going on, but
Oh yeah,
Nice.
nothing to make you feel like you're in a tropical paradise.
yeah. It's just the ambiance.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
brings you closer.
So, yeah, I mean, hour and 40.
Yeah,
I
thank
know
you
we've
guys
been
for sitting
cooking.
here.
I was
talking
gonna
to
say,
us
I
for
know,
so
I didn't
long.
even realize we were on for that long.
Do you guys
but,
have like a time you stop usually?
I don't. I like to keep it loose.
Yeah.
I honestly think that like a lot of times.
I mean,
You
actually,
don't
that's
get
not
to
a
the-
bad
I was
question to
literally
pose.
in the middle of
I
a
know, but I'm
sentence.
cutting you off because it's not a bad question to pose because we don't really talk about it, but we
Yeah, sometimes it just kind of happens.
but yeah, I mean, I guess from like a fan interaction perspective, you know, if people are super pro or against it one way or the other, the best thing to
I
do
think
would
people.
be
I don't know. I like long
reach out to us
podcasts.
and
Yeah.
say, hey, this is kind of what we're looking for.
Yeah.
You can finish if you
I don't
want.
even remember what I was
yeah,
saying.
I didn't care was the problem.
Because I was wondering that too.
Oh.
Like before we came, I was like, I should probably check just because I didn't care. But I was
Yeah.
like, I wonder if there's like a time limit because we've thought about that too. Like that was a discussion we had for our new podcast. Like the rotation, I should have mentioned before. It'll probably only be like half an hour to like 45 minutes because it's like one topic. You know, with the
Yeah.
podcast, it kind of bounces around. With that, it's like one thing, so we'll keep it short.
I think
that
what
makes
we
sense when you can
learned,
stay on topic like
what
that.
we
Yeah.
learned is in studio when you're in person, it's way easier to go longer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Like the difference between before we ever did an in-person episode to once we hopped in the studio, I think that it's gone a lot longer just because you're just shooting like at that point you're just talking,
Yeah.
yeah,
right? And it's easier to keep conversation going.
A lot of times I'll feel like after the first hour even, like that's when stuff like when we had I guess I won't say who in case they don't want me. But when we had somebody on a little while ago in the studio, Like, it was okay, and then, like, 45 minutes in, it almost felt like, oh, this is when the episode is starting. You know what I mean? Like, it was good before, but you have to get that, especially, like, you know, we don't really know each other super well, and, like, you literally just came in and we sat down and we, like, got it. So it kind of, when that happens, it's I think it's good to do it that way, but there's definitely a kind of a warm-up period. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there definitely is.
And I feel like you like to initiate conversation prior to, like, I am the type of person where I wish that we could just walk in here, not say a word to each other, and it was just recording, and we could just start.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, think about, you told your being afraid of things in water story to us.
Yeah, I got that.
You know what
but
I mean?
again, I
Like,
had not planned on discussing
yeah, and then
that,
he
but
specifically said
that's
we're gonna talk.
incredible.
But
Check out.
either way, thank you guys a bunch for coming on.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, as always, all of our stuff that comes out on social media this week, we'll tag you guys in too. That way people have an easier time finding your stuff. But make sure you check them out, Ivy League.
Yeah.
Check out their personal accounts too. Will is hysterical, in my opinion, on Twitter.
Thank you.
So I would say to start there maybe and branch out.
Will's a hot little commodity right now.
Yeah.
I mean, what can I say?
If you're a single mother, hit Will up.
Yeah.
He's very.
He doesn't want
he's
to take
tender.
care of his own children, but he will take care
Yeah,
of
he
yours.
abandoned his own children.
Yeah.
He's looking to rekindle that with someone.
Oh, I'm sad we're ending it here because moms love me. It's upsetting.
Maybe you'll get a couple.
Yeah,
Maybe you'll
hey,
get a couple.
if we throw up another picture of Kenny Chesney on our Instagram, there'll be moms all over the place.
True.
Oh, God, they.
Did that happen?
Yeah.
They.
Oh, God.
But the thing about that one was when Kenny Chesney was the Who Would Win of the Week against Jimmy Buffett.
Oh,
Jimmy
shit.
Buffett won that poll by like a lot.
Oh,
but if you
shit.
look at the post, everybody, it was all like older, like white women who were like, I don't know what this motion means. I'm glad they can't see it if they're just listening, but they're like this.
Yeah.
And they all were like, I love Kenny Chesney. And
Dude, Tim McGraw too.
Yeah.
My mom tries to like relate. If she sees this, would be so funny. But I try to tell her about like our music and like who I like, and she'll be like, "Yeah, Tim McGraw did that," and I'm like, "I respect it."
Yeah.
And you know,
yeah, shout out to Tim McGraw. You
Dude,
gotta respect him.
I didn't know this, but he is like up there in sales. He sells as much as like Beyonce.
Dude.
He did a tour of all football stadiums.
Garth Brooks.
Oh, no, Garth.
Holy
Oh,
shit.
shit!
It
was
was
Garth Brooks.
Dude, Garth Brooks
Yeah.
is nuts. I
Yeah.
talked about it on the
What-
Your Mom's House podcast, but like when you look into it, yeah, he outsells Taylor Swift. He outsells Beyonce.
That's who it was.
And I think when I worked at the CBS station, they did like this live Garth Brooks thing that I had to like run, and it was weird. Like they were.
I know-
He seems odd.
He is a strange guy.
But women love him. Like,
Yeah.
I know for a fact that
Dude,
our
yeah.
mother
has been
and
to, like
one of her
3
sisters
Garth Brooks.
have snuck into a concert that Garth Brooks was at. Like, no tickets, just because they wanted to see Garth Brooks that
Holy
bad.
shit.
And, like, when you get, like, middle-aged women, like, breaking the law to do stuff like that, you know that they're passionate about...
Yeah. That's
You
a
can-
one of a kind fan base, dude. You're making like they're like acting like teenagers again,
True.
sneaking into a
Well,
concert.
but that's the best part. If you're Garth Brooks, you're like, I have this passionate fan base that also has disposable income because they're all 50 years old.
yeah,
So
pretty much.
I can do whatever I want, and they
We're
love
in the,
me.
We're in the wrong business.
Yeah.
We gotta start writing country songs.
I remember. I mean, real quick, my mom. You know, again when she brings up not Tim McGraw, Garth Brooks. That
Tim
just shows
McGraw,
how
though.
much I know about country
Tim
music.
McGraw
but-
though, like
Yeah, I
he
mean,
looks
you know,
good.
I love Tim
He's an
McGraw.
OG too.
Yeah.
But like my mom told me the story about Garth Brooks. She sent my dad. This is back in like the early 2000s when you had to like open the phone book to like call like the then HSBC Arena and be like, I want tickets. So my dad goes to the box office, which like no one does that anymore either, and he had to wait like 3 hours in this line going down the block of the arena to get Garth Brooks tickets. And he was only supposed to play one show, and I think he played like 5 or 4 like in a row because they kept selling out. He sold out like 5 shows in a row in 1 week in Buffalo, and people were going nuts. And I think my mom went to 2 of them. She went like back to back, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
The
man.
world we're living in now, that just does not happen.
They wouldn't want to stay. Like people would be like, "Oh, cool, I sold it out." But he didn't even have to. He was like, "I'll stay." and he stayed like a week here, and just kept selling shows out.
And just made so much
Garth
money.
Brooks, he
too.
might be a psycho, but he's a great entertainer, without a
And
doubt.
he's also not on streaming services.
Yes, I
My
know.
mom just told me that he has
What?
his own app.
Mm-hmm. Live from Studio G, baby.
That is fucked.
Because I was trying to listen to that song Thunder Road. Right? Wait, no. What's that song? The Thunder something.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I
Great
don't listen
song.
to much
Great
Garth Brooks.
song.
Yeah.
Well, now that we did finally get to Garth Brooks, that was our last topic
Yep.
that we had to touch on.
Now we can all die happy. Now we can all leave the studio. Guys, thanks for coming on. Everybody listening, make sure you check out Ivy League. Make sure you check out the vlogs because they're funny as fuck. Listen to demos too because I
Demos, too.
guarantee you it's like nothing that you're listening to right now. So check
Thank
that
you.
out. Guys, thanks again for
Yeah, I
coming on.
appreciate
you.
that.
Well, it's true.
And then teespring.com.
Jesus Christ. There's an
Andy.
intro. There's an intro for our plugs.
No, but I
this
have
is
to
their
say
time.
but I still have to say it again.
You gotta plug the plug.
Yeah. Thank you guys again.
Go back and listen to the intro.
Yeah. Listen to it twice. Andy, I love you.
I love you too.
I hope you're having a good day.
Will, I love you.
I love you more, dude.
And I can't wait to see you in the car later.
Garth Brooks, I love you.
Tim McGraw, you're the love of my life.
Coach K.
Coach K versus Tim McGraw.
Jim
Cross up.
Boeheim, I don't fuck you. All right, we got it.
Let's get out of here.
Get out of here.
Thanks, guys.
Yep.